Not a problem. Either way, let's go ahead and start, and I will record the class on video in case that they want to see it later. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Um, okay. So let me go ahead and start sharing the screen right now. Today we're going to start talking a little bit about something that it's a little bit complicated at first. It I will not lie. It's not complicated, but it's not as easy as other things that we have been seeing. So um, let's go ahead and start. But that's what I wanted everyone else to be present so that because I don't want them to get confused later on, but either way that's okay because I would be recording this right now. So let me see. I hope that because last time I did this it didn't show my last time I did this for some reason it did not show the audio on the recording. It shouldn't be the case. I think it should be. Um, yeah, well, I think it should be, but okay. Um, so, um, I am sharing my screen, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, yesterday, first of all, let's go back a little bit to yesterday's presentation, given the fact that we had been talking yesterday about this is where we stopped yesterday, and basically we were talking about how to make a description about something that you would like to say, specifically describing consistently some of the business proposals. For example, we were right here on the part that says, I'm sorry, we were right on the part that says, why is it showing me this toolbar? It shouldn't be, but okay. So this is the part that we left and that we stopped at yesterday. It was how to introduce business proposals. So we started with this slide of the presentation that says that in order for you to introduce a business proposal, and what could be an example of a business proposal. For example, as I was mentioning yesterday, it's when you would like to present a project to a client, or when you're talking to a client in order for like for for you to let them know that you're interested in a project, or when you're, for example, interviewing someone and you want to know if they are ready for the type of work that you do and that sort of thing. So the way that we handle this is so welcome, Daniel. So the way that we handle this is by using specifically modals, which is they are, as I was saying yesterday, modals are a very specific thing that we have in English. They are actually called modal verbs because they do not belong to any particular verbal tense. They are separated verbal. They are like separated verbal entities that they work in order for them to, let's say, to help you out to express different things. Some of the things that we can express using modals, they are a lot of things, but the particular thing about modals is that we need to conjugate them with um, every time we use a modal, we need to conjugate it with other verbs. So a modal is basically like if it was an auxiliary verb, but instead of being an auxiliary verb, it's giving another meaning to the sentence that you have, and you will see why. We have some examples right here. For example, it says, I would like to introduce you some of our most remarkable projects, for example, or I should start by presenting this to you. In this competitive world, we have to be ready for new challenges. Let us start by talking about. Allow me to introduce you some of our work. So the ones in red are basically modals, or what I mean with modals. What I mean by the infinitive form, remember that in previous lessons I've mentioned that when I'm talking about the infinitive form, I'm talking about the let's say the verb in the present form, in the present tense, and the simple present form. So infinitive would be in this case this start, or in the other case it would be like, because both of those verbs, like and start, both of them are in the simple present form. Ambos verbos están conjugados en el tiempo presente. So, if we, whenever you see that something asks you for the infinitive, you know that it's asking you for the infinitive form. Therefore, it means it's asking you for the present, for the simple present time. We know that the simple present is saying like, I like to dance, or for example, I let's say I start to run right now. That's simple present. We that's like that was lesson number one when we started. So that's simple present, but that's what it means when we say infinitive. It means the verb in base form. It's exactly the same thing. Now, when we say the to or ing form, we will get back to that because right now we are gonna talk about modals. So let's go out of the presentation and let's go right here. This is a mind map. I'm sure that you guys know mind maps, but this is um, this is, as I said, it looks complicated when you look at like this, but I have a few. This is just like a visual that I want to explain to you guys. I have another one. I have this one as well. But basically, this is a mind map. Okay, you guys know that. So basically, modal verbs can. Let me put it this way: modal verbs like the word suggested are verbs that you can use to express different things. Sometimes those things are emotions, sometimes they are feelings, but the reason they are called modals is because sometimes they are used to request for something politely. So it translates to when in Spanish to when we say modales. En este caso sería una especie de verbos modales. Pero como no existe tal cosa como verbos modales, what we call them is, in fact, we just call them modal verbs because they refer to different things. For example, a modal verb, I'm gonna write this right here, for example. Um, a modal verb, let me make this like this. Okay, so a modal verb can help us talk about number one, that's just an example, permission or ability. Example, can I eat the last piece of cake? Or, yeah, that would be an example. Or number two, now we can say, or for example, the other example with ability would be, can you run, can you run with, um, well, no, let's say, can you walk with high heels? High heels, tacones. Can you walk with high heels? Or can I eat the last piece of cake? This one, this one is permission. What is a modal here is this verb that we have. When we say can, that's a modal. Same thing in here. When we say can you, can I, can him, can her, can we, that's a modal. Number two, modals, a modal verb can also help us to talk about sometimes uncertainty or doubt. For example, we can say, um, we can say, I I would I would take her home, but I am not sure if she wants. That's basically the same example of a doubt, but yeah, we could also say, for example, I am not sure if I should talk the talk to the team, for example. So this would that it's a model. Same thing in here. Should that's a model. Now, models can also help us, like the mind map that we have right here. It says that it can also help us for advices. So it can also help us for advices. For example, if we say example, if we say something like it should be examples because these are plurals. So examples, so there's more than one. So examples, we can say, for example, you should not eat fat food. Fat food, comida chatarra. No deberías comer comida chatarra. That's basically an advice that you're giving to someone. So in here, your model would be, give me just a moment because my I'm using my mouse pad and but it stopped working for some reason. So let me just plug another mouse in. Okay. So, all right. So the model right here would be, as we have been looking in the other examples, should. So you should not eat fat food. Another example would be of an advice would be, let's say, she should not do. Um, she should not do that. Ella no debería hacer eso. She should not do that. In here, if you notice, we are using negative examples, like should not. This can also be contracted, and we could actually say shouldn't, like this. The same in here, we could actually say shouldn't, like this, which is the exact same thing. Shouldn't. Now, we could do it in the positive, in the affirmative way by saying, for example, you should run, no, or let's say you should walk more. Deberías caminar más. Or we can say they should stop behaving like that. Deberían dejar de comportarse así. You should, same thing, except that now it's in the affirmative form. But it's the same thing. They should stop behaving like that. If you notice, guys, all of the verbs that goes after a modal, it's in the infinitive form, which means again the present form, the simple present form. So, um, who is Kadev How Development?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's pressing. Okay.
Yes. Anyone can be Cadejo development.
Oh, okay. So it's basically an account that everyone uses.
Yeah, it's an
Yes.
account when we where we sign the apps.
Ah, okay. Got it. I didn't know that, but okay. And I'm like, wait, who's this person? But okay. All right, welcome, Pressy. So back to the Word document. So we're saying we have so far we have three things. We have said that modal verbs can be used for permission or ability, uncertainty or doubt, incerteza, incertidumbre o duda, and we have also said then advices. Those are the three things we have, but there are more things that they can be used for. And then, for example, the one that you would use in each of the cases is something that we will learn how to do. Because right now we are just looking them in general, but we will learn what is each of them used for, how to use them, and all that. Now, so right now I'm just giving you like the big portion of the things. So they can also be used to they can also be used to express obligation, meaning things that are things that you have to do by by obligation. So examples of obligations are sometimes you can say something like, you have to be here on time. Tienes que estar aquí a tiempo. Or, for example, you can say, you have to come to work on time. Tienes que venir a trabajar a tiempo. You have to. This is a modal. Have to, it's another modal that we use. We could also say, you must eat healthy food. Debes comer comida saludable. You must eat. That's another modal. Debes, must. Have to, the same thing. Debes venir al trabajo a tiempo. You must eat healthy food. Debes comer comida saludable. Obligation, as I said. Another thing can be also, this one that I'm gonna use is not very common, but sometimes you're gonna see it. It's like, but this one is, you're gonna see this more in, if you read a book or if you read a magazine, you're gonna see this example. Like sometimes people, we are not gonna focus that much on them. I'm just gonna mention that so you guys know that it does exist. We have another model, such as, for example, um, we ought to finish this project by tomorrow. This is one, as I said, this is very uncommon. It's only used in like old, very like old literature, and like not very commonly used in general conversations. But we ought to finish this project by tomorrow. It means you have to finish that project. You should, you have to, it's an obligation. You ought to. Now, another example would be with that would be the examples with obligation. Now let's move to another type of example, such as the one we have in this mind map. It says certainty, but we have covered that. Possibility, yeah, possibility, yeah. So another example that models can help us to talk about is possibility. Examples of possibility would be, for instance, let's say, um, if you look at here, it gives you a few examples: might, may, and could. But in here, we are going to say, for example, examples of possibility would be may I, and we are going to call this actually possibility or permission as well, because this is also used for permission. Now, examples of possibility would be, let's say, possibility. That would be, let's say, could I, um, it's similar to a permission, but basically a possibility is, could I join the team? Something like similar to permission, but also similar to possibility. It's like a mix in between them. So let's say, could I join the team? Podría, esto se traduce como si estuvieran diciendo en español, podría unirme al equipo o puedo unirme al equipo. But this form, this form right here, could, is when you're trying to say this is the verb could in simple past. Remember that the verb can, it's an irregular verb. So the simple past form would be could. Now the thing is that in here we're using it as a modal verb. So it doesn't really matter if the verb is in past, because we can use it in the present in this case, but we can also use it in the past. This can be for present or past permission. It depends. We can even say possibility or permission or past permission. Past permission, I mean literally asking for permission in the past. But yeah, could I join the team? Another example of possibility or permission would be, may I go to the restroom or to the bathroom? May I go to the bathroom? May, it's another type of modal. May I go? Or for example, may I ask what is going on? Podría preguntar qué pasa. May I ask what is going on? Another type of modal. Another example would be um, she might come late to work today. She might come, might. Might in this case, it's representing a possibility because it's not, they are not sure that she might get there late, that she will be there late, but they are saying that she might, que ella podría llegar tarde. Or another example could be, for example, with might, we can say, um, let's say, Richard might not come to class. This example that it's also again in a negative form, but this one doesn't have a contraction. So Richard podría no venir a clase. Es como en español, podría no venir. O hay gente que dice, puede ser que no venga. Pero en este caso la función gramatical correcta sería decir, podría no venir. Another example would be, I might, um, for example, I might eat pizza tonight. Podría comer pizza esta noche. Porque no estoy diciendo que lo vaya a hacer. I'm saying podría hacerlo. That's what I'm saying. I might eat. All right. So those are some examples about, as we said, possibility or permission. Another example would be then this is one of the most important ones. This one would be conditional, and it can also mean certainty. So for conditionals, condition or certainty. Certainty. There you go. So for condition and certainty, we have the following examples. We can say, I will travel to Africa next year. In here, will, it's your modal. Will is also a future form for future simple that we haven't covered future times yet. But whenever you have will, it's because you're talking about condition or certainty. So in this case, your modal would be will. All right. Now, if we need another example, we can say, for example, I would love to visit my family after, just an example. Let's say it like that. I would love to visit my family. This is condition because right now you're saying you would love to, but you're not being certain about that. So then another example, just like it says in here, it could be something like, for example, um, I will I will start my own company in 3 years. This is again simple future, but this is also a modal. I will start my own company in 3 years. This is certainty because you guys are sure that you're saying that you will start your company. So because you're certain about that, certain que estás seguro, es una certeza ese punto. No hay ninguna duda sobre eso. I will start my own company in 3 years. Now, if you wanted to use a condition, you could say, I would start my company in 3 years if I have enough money, for example. We will not focus that much on these type of sentences yet, but this is just to show you guys an introduction to something that's called zero conditional. And basically zero conditional is this that we have in here. This is a conditional. For the people that have studied programming, you guys know that in programming you have the conditional if, and you have your, I don't remember how it's called, but basically you have something like this: if value of the whatever thing true, the value of whatever thing false. For example, you have that in you get that in, you get that a lot in programming. So this is something similar to it. And basically when you have an if, what it's trying to tell you is basically is the same principle that you have in math or programming. You have basically, if one condition is met, the other condition will also be met. Si una condición se cumple, la otra condición se cumple. Por eso digo que eso es como el argumento sí en programación o en Excel, que es como la fórmula condicional sí. Porque si nosotros decimos si este valor es equivalente a este valor, este otro valor se va a dar, por ejemplo. So in here, grammatically speaking, is something similar. If we use an if in a sentence, it means that if one condition of the sentence is met, the other condition will also be met. Cuando digo met, me refiero si se cumple. Si una condición se cumple, la otra condición también se va a cumplir. So that's what happens when you use phrases like this. I would start by I would start my company in 3 years if I have enough money. The condition would be this one: if you have enough money, you would start your own company. Si una condición se cumple, la otra también. O mejor dicho, si una condición se cumple, el resultado final se cumple. That's sort of how it works. So basically, when it comes to sorry, I just wanted to check up on you guys. So when it comes to these type of things, as we have in here, we have a couple of examples right now. Let's see what we have. So we said that a modal verb can help us to talk about permission or ability, uncertainty or doubt, advices. Then we said obligation as well. Obligation. Then we said also possibility or permission or past permission. Okay. Then as a number 6, we said condition or certainty. So we have 6 things that we can use modals for. If you notice, we have a lot of words. So we have can, we have would, should again, should not, have to, ought to, must, could, may, might again, will, would. And then we have the conditional if. But as I said, that's just to give you a general introduction to it. It's not like we will start with conditionals right now. We will just focus in modals. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's start by this mind map. This is a little bit more simple than this one. This one is a little bit more complicated. But this one, for example, is actually very easy. You start right here with modal verbs right at the center of the mind map. Then you have several branches, ramas. You have several branches that they take off, despegan, o sea, se despegan del mismo punto, del centro. One of the branches you have in here, it says obligation. So look at the examples. Se los voy a explicar un poco en Spanglish, pero se los voy a explicar en español para que no se me pierdan. If we are talking about obligation, si estamos hablando de una obligación, tenemos 2 caminos. El primer camino es, si es un sí, es decir, si estamos hablando de obligación en una oración afirmativa, in an affirmative sentence, we can use have to, como los ejemplos que vimos. Dentro de have to, nosotros podemos usar varias conjugaciones. Por el momento no le vamos a prestar atención a eso, sino que simplemente vamos a ver el have to como oración afirmativa, es decir, no hagan caso a eso que está aquí, esto que dice had to, will have, no, porque eso no lo hemos visto. Pero sabemos que si tenemos una obligación, podemos usar have to, o bien podemos usar must, como dice aquí. Must o have to, como se los expliqué en el Word. Si es no, es decir, si no tenemos que hacer algo o si es una obligación de forma negativa, por así decirlo, es decir, algo que no sea una obligación, pero tenemos que decir, ¿cómo les explico? Si estamos tratando de decir no tienes que hacer eso, so decimos don't have to. Es lo mismo una obligación, pero es un no, ya no es un sí. Por eso les ponía el ejemplo de si sí, si no. Es similar. Si tenemos una obligación, si el valor de la obligación es sí, utilizamos have to or must. Si el valor de la obligación, de la oración, de la obligación es no, utilizamos don't have to. Es decir, el auxiliar don't en negativo plus have to. Ya vamos a ver ejemplos de eso. Por otro lado, si usamos advice, es decir, si damos un consejo, si el consejo es que sí, si el colegio, perdón, si el consejo tiene un valor que sí, podemos usar should o podemos usar ought to. Si el consejo tiene un valor que no, podemos, es decir, un valor negativo, podemos usar shouldn't o podemos usar este no lo uso y realmente esto está muy descontinuado, así que no le vamos a pertenecer a oughtn't to, no le vamos a prestar atención a eso, sino que simplemente a shouldn't, should not. Shouldn't is a contraction for should not. Ahora veamos condicional. Si estamos hablando de una condición, como vimos los ejemplos con will or would, si en este caso no tenemos diversificación de valores, es decir, si tenemos nada más will, o si tenemos una certeza de que algo va a pasar en el futuro, usamos will. Si no estamos seguros, usamos would, como los ejemplos que hicimos acá. Si estoy diciendo acá, I would start my company if I have enough money. Or I would love to visit my family. Porque le gustaría, eso significa, me gustaría visitar a mi familia. Pero para expresar esa expresión gustaría, tenemos que utilizar el would porque es un verbo modal. So, if we go back, ya vimos que cuando tengamos certeza de una situación utilizamos will, como en futuro simple, I will travel, I will visit, whatever. And if I'm not sure about something, I would use would. Ahora bien, cuando se refiere a certeza o incerteza, porque esto también se refiere a, como ven acá, dice quite sure, porque no está tan seguro. La palabra quite significa casi o un poco o a veces significa bastante, pero generalmente significa un poco seguro. Por eso a mí me gusta ponerlo de tal forma que esto es certeza o incerteza. Si es certeza u obligación, como en este caso, podemos usar must a la misma vez que con have to y no. Pero si estamos seguros de algo, podemos usar must. 100% seguro, como dice acá. O podemos usar should, pero eso ya sería más incierto. Cuando nosotros usamos el verbo modal y decimos, por ejemplo, I should eat tonight, eso significa debería comer, pero no estás seguro si vas a comer, porque por eso estás diciendo debería hacerlo, pero no es que lo vayas a hacer, no estás diciendo que lo vayas a hacer obligatoriamente. Ahora, possibility, for possibility we have either could, might, or may, as examples we saw in the Word document. And then we have ability, we have past ability such as could, or we have ability such as can. Por el momento ignoren todo esto que dice will be able to, was able to, be able to. Lo mismo acá. Esto que dice must have plus past participle should have, eso ignórenlo. Simplemente concéntrense en las ramas principales. Ability, possibility, certainty, conditional, advice, obligation, and permission. Now, ability, we have could and we have can. And then permission, we have si el valor es positivo, si el valor es un sí, podemos utilizar may or can. Si el valor es negativo, podemos utilizar must en negativo o can't en negativo también. So, I know that this is a lot of information and that this may be confusing. As I was saying at the beginning, this may be confusing to some of you guys, but don't worry because right now I just wanted to open your minds. I just wanted to shake your brains a little bit but we will go little by little talking about this. We will go one by one. It's not like we will start like just learning everything like just like that. Everything goes little by little. So in these other minds, this one is a little bit more complex. In this other mind map that we have, it says that we have modal verbs in the center as well. This is supposed to be a painter. But we have can, and it says present abilities. It gives us a few examples. Can he swim? Yes, he can, or no, he can't. Could, for past ability. Could he swim when he was 5 years old? Yes, he could, or no, he couldn't. Could, number two, for polite request. Could you pass me the sugar? Yes, of course I could. Sorry that it's not showing in here, but the image for some reason it didn't show completely. Then for may, we also have a polite request. May I use the bathroom? ¿Podría usar el baño? Yes, you may, or no, you may not. Si puedes o no puedes. So, en el caso de could y de may, como les decía, aparte de usarlos como habilidad o como permiso, también se pueden utilizar como etiqueta, por así decirlo, es decir, como expresión, well, like as a polite expression. No sé cómo traducir eso al español, supongo que podría decirlo como una expresión de educación, pero yo prefiero decirlo como una expresión de etiqueta, una expresión de protocolo. Es decir, si estamos con una persona en la casa de alguien y necesitamos usar el baño, tendríamos que decir, ¿podría usar el baño, por favor? So you would say, may I use the bathroom, please? Or could I use the bathroom, please? Both of them are to ask for something politely. Lo mismo si, por ejemplo, estás presentando un proyecto y quieres decir, por ejemplo, necesitas un reporte de ese proyecto, necesitas, por ejemplo, un, el reporte de que es, o necesitas, por ejemplo, que uno de tus compañeros te mande un reporte. So you could say, could I have the report about this and this and this? Or you can just go by the straight normal form and saying, send me the report. But that's the thing, send me the report is something that sounds a little bit rude. So it's better to say, could you please send me the report? Or could I please have the report? That sounds a little bit better. Now, this one, in the other side, this one is the left side of the painter. On the right side of the painter, we have would. It says polite request as well. Es decir, lo mismo, expresión de etiqueta. Would you hold this for me? Yes, of course. ¿Podría sostener eso por mí? Would you please hold this for me? Then we have shoal. That one, yeah, I'm not. The thing with shoal is that I don't like to cover that. I'm gonna explain it just for you guys to know that it exists. But yeah. Um, oh, something that I skipped. I'm sorry about that. Is that these things that we have on the left side? I'm sorry. Yeah, on the left side, this express either ability, necessity, or permission, like you see in here. On the right side, we have would, as I said, and then we have shall. Shall is similar to should, but it's more like a suggestion. Like it says in here, shall we go? I cannot read what it says. But let's say that if it just said, shall we go now? Yes, we shall. Yes, we shall. Or no, we shan't. That one, we're not going to study that one that much because that one is only used in really old movies or sometimes in movies where they are trying to sound new movies, but they are trying to sound a little bit fancy. But that one is not really used in a business environment. So yeah, we would leave it for the end. Probably not. It's not something that I want to focus that much on. This one, shoal. But you guys know that it does exist. So we have also need. This one, don't pay attention either. Needn't, no. That one it's not used like at all. It's only used in very specific occasions. So just this one, don't pay attention either. So needn't, mustn't, and then shall, those are really not important. Then must, this one is important. So must, the green one, it says have to, necessity, and then we must go now, examples, it says. Referring to when you have an obligation or a necessity, you can say have to or you can say must. So this is, like I was saying, this is a big portion. Right now, I have given you guys a big picture of models. I know, as I said, that it's a lot of information and it's a little bit complicated, but don't worry. I'm going to send you this link on the chat right now, and I want you to go right here. Please click on the link, and then once you're here, we are going to start reading some of these examples because we have multiple examples in here. For example, we have probability, ability, permission, request, suggestions, obligations, and we have a lot of things. This subject of models is a little bit long, but it's actually very easy once you get to understand it. So, are you guys already in the link in the website?
Yes.
Yes, Diego.
Yes, yes, you.
Okay, great. So, we have in here, and it says the modal verbs are can, may, must, shall, again, will, but as we said, we are not going to pay attention to shall, will, should, might, could, and would. We have some examples over here. Daniel, can you please help me read this part?
And the first part, we use model to show if we believe something is certain, possible, or impossible.
Certain. The
And
pronunciation is certain.
certain.
Hmm. So, keep going. I'm sorry.
My keys must be in the car. It might be rain tomorrow. That can't be Peter's coat. It's too small.
It might rain. Okay, so my keys must be in the car. It might rain tomorrow. That can't be. Peter's coat is too small. Okay, so it says we use model to show if we believe something is certain, possible, or impossible. So right now we have three examples that where it says my keys must be in the car. For that means that it's either something certain, as we saw on the mind map that we have right here, the one with must. This one it says necessity, but this other one, for example, it says certainty, and then we have must right here. So my keys must be in the car. Es como si ustedes estuvieran diciendo en español, mis llaves deben estar en el carro. That's basically what you're trying to say when you speak like that. When you say, my keys must be in the car. Debí haber dejado las llaves en el carro. O las llaves deben estar en el carro. Lo malo es que en español no tenemos la costumbre de hablar así en Latinoamérica, sino que en Latinoamérica decimos, por ejemplo, ay, dejé mis llaves en el carro, pero no decimos debí dejar mis llaves en el carro. Sin embargo, si habláramos así y si dijéramos debí dejar las llaves en el carro, so we say my keys must be in the car. La segunda, it might rain tomorrow, significa podría llover mañana. That's what it's saying, it might. Might, as we have seen in here, it means right here, permission, but also may, like right here, it means polite request, but it can also mean, as we saw right here, this one, possibility or permission. But also, if it is a possibility, may I ask what's going on? She might come late to work today. So same example, same example right here. It might rain tomorrow. Podría llover mañana. That cannot be, or that can't be. I'm sorry, that can't be Peter's coat. It's too small. Es el mismo ejemplo que el que pusimos con Moss. Si habláramos así en español, podríamos decir, ese no puede ser la chaqueta de Peter. Es muy pequeña. Pero esa forma de hablar no la tenemos, sino que nosotros en Latinoamérica decimos algo como, eh, no, esa no es la chaqueta de Peter, pero no usamos mucho este tipo de construcciones verbales. Pero si lo hiciéramos y si dijéramos, esa no puede ser, but we can say something like, for example, if, for example, you guys know, let's make a random scenario in which someone stole your car, and then of course I wouldn't wish that to happen to anyone. So let's say uh, someone stole my car. So if someone stole my car, and I could at some point say, like, let's say that the police calls me that they found it, and I go and I see the car and I say, no, that cannot be my car, or that can't be my car, because I know where my car is and I know that that was not the area that the car was lost, for example. So I would say that can't be my car. Ese no puede ser mi carro, por ejemplo. So those are just some examples. Now, this one it says, we also use them. Cuando dice we also use them, recuérdense que estamos hablando de modals, modal verbs. We also use them to do things like talk about ability, ask permission, and make requests and offers. Examples: I can't swim. May I ask a question? Could I have some tea, please? Would you like some help? Si tuviéramos que traducir esto, literal, no puedo nadar. I can't swim. May I ask a question? ¿Podría hacer una pregunta? Could I have some tea, please? Podría, o en este caso, puedo tomar o puedo tener un poco de té. Would you like some help? ¿Te gustaría que te ayude? ¿O te gustaría un poco de ayuda? So, as it says in here, ability, permission, or make requests and offers, I'm sorry. Now, we are going to try to do this exercise. It's very easy, you guys, and I will help you out with it. So let's start. Let's do it. Let's do this exercise together. So it says, what's the meaning of the modal verbs in these sentences? Choose the correct meaning. Let's look at the first example. It says, that man can't be a doctor. He looks too young. Let me ask you, Prezi, what do you think that in this example, what do you think that the modal can't means? Does it mean impossibility or does it mean prohibition? Prohibition, prohibición, impossibility, imposibilidad. What does it mean?
This mean this means impossibility. Impossibility.
Impossibility. Yes, very good. So let's continue. You can't wear jeans at work. Men have to wear a suit and a tie. Melissa, is this impossibility or is this prohibition?
Mm, prohibition.
Prohibition, yes, that's
Prohibition.
correct. Because it's
What
saying
does mean where?
I'm sorry?
What does it mean?
Eh, vestir,
Wear?
vestir.
Okay.
En ese caso, como dice, no pueden vestir o no pueden andar, por así decirlo, jeans en el trabajo. Los hombres, dice, necesitan andar o vestir un traje y corbata. So when you say wear, it means to wear a shirt, for example, andar una camisa o vestir una camisa.
Okay.
So like Melissa said, you can't wear jeans at work. Es como si alguien nos estuviera diciendo, no puedes andar con jeans en el trabajo. Así de simple. Entonces en ese caso es una prohibición, como dice acá. Let's see this one. Did you know that Mozart could play the piano by the time he was 5? Daniel, is this ability or is this a possibility?
could play. Mozart could is an
Pos-
ability, not is an ability because he's telling that Mozart, yes, like a
So you say ability.
yes because he's affirming that Mozart.
Okay. What do you think, Melissa? Is it possibility or ability?
I think it's a ability.
Okay. Yeah, I will select the ability and we will see. We have another one. I'm not sure where the cafe is. I think it could be in the next street. Pressy, is this a possibility or is this an ability?
Um, it's a possibility.
Yes, very good. It is a possibility because it's saying that it could be in the next street. So it's not an ability because the coffee does not have any abilities. So yeah. Um, when you finish the test, you may quietly leave the room. Melissa, is this a permission or a possibility?
A permission.
Yes, very good. A permission because it's giving permission to that person that cuando terminen el examen se pueden ir. So it's saying you may quietly leave the room. Váyanse o se pueden ir en silencio. It means that it's a permission. So yeah, I'm busy tomorrow, but I may be able to see you on Thursday. Let me phone you. John Pressy, possibility or permission?
It's a possibility.
Very good. Yes, because I may be able to see you. It's something that may happen or may not happen. So it means it's a possibility. You know what? I think this rain might be stopping. Daniel, possibility or permission?
It is a possibility.
Yes, because it's talking about the rain having the possibility of stopping. So, yes. I know you're busy, but might I ask you a quick question? Melissa, possibility or permission?
I know you are busy. Uh, possibility.
In this particular case, it's actually permission because since the person is busy, when it says might I ask you a quick question, this is more like asking permission to that person. So in this case, it
Okay.
would be permission. I'm just writing to say congratulations on your engagement. Engagement is a compromiso o matrimonio. You must be really happy. Prezi, is this certainty or obligation?
A certainty.
Certainty. Okay. Remember that
Certain.
certainty is certeza. So if we say that they are getting engaged, they must be really happy. So that's a certainty. Eso es un hecho. Es una certeza. You must make sure that you save all documents in the correct folder. Daniel, obligation or certainty?
I'm sure you said it is an obligation.
V-
Yes.
Yes, very good. You must make sure, debes asegurarte de guardar todos los documentos en la carpeta correcta. So, es una obligación. Will you come with me, please? Pressy, willingness or certainty?
Willingness.
What
Willing.
what what
What
what is
is
this?
the where? No, I don't know.
the me,
Certain.
what is the question? What is the meaning of willingness?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Willingness, it means voluntad.
Okay.
So the question it
Okay.
says, will you come with me, please? En ese caso es como que yo te preguntara, ¿podrías venir conmigo, por favor? So is that a certainty? That's not a
Mm,
certainty.
yes.
No, it's not a certainty because
No,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yes.
It would be
For
a
me,
uh
yes, willingness.
willingness. Exactly.
Yes.
Willingness.
Willingness. It's basically if you have the willingness to do it. For example, to show if you will come with me or not. That's what it's trying to ask. And then the last one it says, these chocolates are lovely, but I will, this is a contraction or will. So I will be sick if I eat any more. Certainty or willingness, guys?
Mm,
Mm,
certain, certainty,
Certainty.
certainty.
Yes, in this case it's a certainty. The reason it cannot, vaya, los chocolates sí se los está comiendo por su propia voluntad, pero en este caso, como está asegurando que se va a enfermar si come más, entonces en ese
Uh,
caso se vuelve una
Diego,
certeza.
Diego, I have to leave because I have a call.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. We're about to
yes,
finish.
me too, Diego. I have a meeting at 6.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. But just you see, we got them all correct. So yeah, see you guys back on
Yes,
Monday.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Diego.
thank
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
you.
I
It's
Thank you.
can
okay.
Sorry
go.
about that.
See you back on Monday. Bye bye.
Yes,
Okay, bye.
bye.
Bye.